Alright, Shalom. I just want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
the abundance of the apostle and others, great millstone. Shalom to all the Hakim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. We just wanted to do a quick lesson on this article that's already queued up on Blacklisted News. It's entitled, so this is how the US dollar dies, if I'm not mistaken. If you could read it just to highlight what it actually says. So this is how the US dollar dies. All right, that's which is the title of the lesson. We're just gonna shed some light, because if you look around you in the United States of America, America is on a swift decline. Financially, morally, economically, and you have people jumping for joy over stimulus checks, not knowing that that's putting the government in a higher and higher debt. And they're gonna have to pay that off, so to speak. And it's getting to the point where more and more money is getting printed. It's inflation is being subject to inflation. The actual currency, as we know it, is being devalued every single day, and that's gonna lead to the crash of the United States currency, man. And that's why, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shema Shah, we know that the chip is going to be the next financial standard that's going to be pushed on you jakes, because we see that this the current financial standard of the U.S. Federal Reserve note is losing its strength. So we can just jump straight into the article. Of course, we're going to go into some precepts through the spirit.
Blacklisted News. The article is called "So This Is How the U.S. Dollar Dies," published March 11th, 2021. And the source is the Economic Collapse. It says, "Our leaders are killing the U.S. dollar, and it is being done to thunderous applause. The House and the Senate have now both passed the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill, and it will go to Joe Biden's desk for his signature. Of course, we don't actually have $1.9 trillion to spend on yet another COVID relief package. In fact, we don't even have $1 to spend on another COVID relief package. Every single dollar that is spent will have to be borrowed, and that will soon push our national debt beyond the $30 trillion mark."
Yeah, and see, now the national debt is $30 trillion. There was a time that the national debt was $10 trillion, $5 trillion, $3 trillion, $30 trillion in national debt. And when you look at the United States debt clock and you look at debt per citizen, I think it's up there, up in the high 60s. If I'm not mistaken, it might be higher. I checked it a while back, and it was like at 55. All right, so that debt that America continues to climb into is spiraling out of control to the point of no return.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but when people die, the debt goes up per person higher because you have less people. So it goes higher because the debt that would have been on a person that was alive has got to go on the person that raised it up for a person that's still alive. So that's why it rises.
That's right.
It says, sadly, our politicians seem convinced that giant mountains of dollars without any repercussions. So it says, sadly, our politicians seem convinced that giant mountains of dollars can be printed, borrowed, and spent indefinitely without any repercussions. And most Americans fully support what they are doing. In fact, one recent poll found that a whopping 78% of all Americans support more stimulus checks.
Yeah, and most of these Americans are foolish by nature. They look at it, these stimulus checks as just additional income, or relief packages, not knowing what they're going to actually, get hit with on the back end.
Right, because go ahead, bro.
That's all I'm saying.
Most people don't understand how money operates. They have no idea what inflation is, what hyperinflation is. They don't understand they don't know that this is a fiat system. And it's based upon, debt notes, Federal Reserve notes. It's not backed by anything solid or tangible. No, there's no real money that's backing it. And so they don't understand when they get these checks what it's doing to the overall system. The bubble, it's a bubble. And then every time you get a check, it's blowing more air into that bubble. That bubble's gonna pop.
Right. And dealing in terms of debt, you got all these different debts that's accumulating. Student loan debts. You have these credit card debts. All these different debts, and the average citizen is heavily drowned in debt. And you can't just wash away debt like it's just all right. It's gonna continue to accumulate, like you were just speaking about, that bubble until it pops.
All right.
Some more on that, or that's
what the elites want.
There's more, but I got a preset.
Okay.
This is Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. And that's the point. Is what happens with this debt, and the big thing that they're crying about is it's going to be pushed down onto their children and their children's children. That's who's going to have to pay this debt back. And so that's why a lot of people are in favor for it, because it's like, look, it's not our problem because we're going to be dead and gone by the time anything happens. And that's the same thing, the same attitude that people have with destroying the planet. Deforestation, water pollution, land pollution, putting animals into extinction, X, Y, and Z. You see? So they're, like the scripture says, they actually think that they're going to be able to live long enough for it to be a problem for their continued generations, because that's their inward thought, that they think they're going to live on like that. You see? Now the last part of this scripture says they call their lands after their own names, because they really believe that because they founded something that it's theirs, they have every right to it, and there's a total disregard of balance and order. And we'll keep reading the article.
You had a precept or something?
Yeah, one of y'all bros can read it.
Okay, well, what was it?
So it's Habakkuk 2.
Okay, I got it.
Start from the top, read to the 6th verse.
Okay, Habakkuk 2 and verse 6.
No, start from the top.
I'll start from the top, excuse me. Verse 1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Right, we're standing. This video is a token of us standing on our watch. Go ahead.
All right, verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right, and the vision represents the prophecies. Mm-hmm. These prophecies are coming out. We're prophesying one aspect of the downfall of America, and the downfall of the so-called white man system, meaning him being removed out of power. When the Most High takes down the empire, he takes them down piece by piece, bit by bit. This is a part of the piece, is their financial system. Go ahead.
For the vision is yet